For most developers, testing and retesting code changes can be a tedious task. So why not create a test suite that can be executed automatically as soon as changes have been committed? NaturalONE supports testing for subprograms, maps, and external subroutines. In this video, I'll focus on how to use NaturalONE unit testing for subprograms. There are three main steps in this process. Firstly, we'll need to create a recording of example calls to a subprogram and save it as a basic unit test. Finally, we create an external unit test that can use the recorded data as input. In NaturalONE, we right-click on the subprogram we want to test, select Testing, and then choose Test Subprogram. In the Test Subprogram view, you are able to see the variables in the parameter data area and can enter the needed input parameters. Hit the Run Test button in the top right corner of the view, and you'll see the results in the left pane. This is an easy way of doing ad hoc testing of a subprogram. But let us focus on creating a unit test with a set of test cases that can be used again and again, possibly even against other environments like test or pre-production. The relevant RPC server can be selected in the Connection tab. To configure a recording, we first have to go to Configure Recording. Enter a name for this CSV file to store the test data and hit Next. Now, you'll be able to select which parameters are input and output and which variables you want to save in the recording. In my case, I want yacht ID and yacht name, and then click Finish. This opens a view which displays the content of the CSV file with the field names. If we go back to the test view, we can now start recording by hitting the microphone button. Now we'll start entering values like 60 and 72 and running the test for each. We'll also enter one in case the yacht ID doesn't exist, for instance, if the value is 0. Run the test one more time. If we navigate back to the CSV file, we can see that the test data has now been added and saved. The CSV file can be edited in a spreadsheet and more test cases can be added. Next, we need to return to the test view and save this as a unit test file. Select Save As, and then simply click through to save it. If we take a closer look at the navigation view, we'll see that a Testing Suites folder has been created in the project. Now, let's select the unit test we just created, right-click and choose Testing, and then Create External Data Unit Test. We'll give it a name like Moya N1. Then we'll select the CSV file with the recorded data and click Finish. Our last step before we can start testing is to assign a validation type to each output field that will be compared to the CSV data. Because we recorded some data earlier, we have a guide for which fields we should use. Check First Row contains field names, and then clicking Map will display the variables from the recording. In most cases, you can make use of string validation. I'll now select that for the three output fields for response code, yacht ID, and yacht name. Once we've specified the validation, we can save the external unit test so it's ready to be run. We can run it by right-clicking on the external unit test that's visible in the navigation view. A view that displays the test results opens up in the bottom right corner. I'll drag it over here to get a better view. The past state means all tests were successful. If we expand, we can see the individual test results. Let's take a look at a failed test by going back to the CSV file and creating a test case that we know will not work. We'll make a copy of the last test case and add a throwaway yacht name to the expected output. We'll click the button to run the test again in this right-hand view, and we can immediately see that it failed as expected. A red X indicates an error in the last line, where we enter the yacht name. The error text will also display the expected and the actual content of the variable.